The Anunnaki, miners of gold and resources to this day. According to Zecharia Sitchin's interpretation of Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki, extraterrestrial gods, arrived on Earth to mine gold and minerals, creating humanity through genetic engineering to serve as a labor force. The Igigi, lower-ranked deities, rebelled against exhausting, dangerous labor, spurring a divine conflict that ended with humanity's creation as their replacement. Early colonizers seized lands for gold, silver, mineral wealth, and agricultural resources. Indigenous peoples were enslaved, coerced into forced labor, and fronted deadly conditions in mines and plantations. As Sitchin describes Anunnaki needs, gold for their planet, colonizers, too plundered Earth to enrich oligarchs and empires. Indigenous cultures were suppressed or eradicated through violence, forced relocations, and cultural eradication tactics. Likewise, Sumerian myth portrays divine atrocities, cities besieged, widespread destruction, and divine flooding, like the Great Flood, to control or punish humanity. Multinational mining, logging, and oil corporations continue to exploit communities, most notably indigenous populations, often sidelining environmental and human rights concerns. Projects like the Amazon rainforest, clear-cutting, and North American pipeline enforcement illustrate how, honestly, profit-driven extraction mirrors ancient gold mining in severity and disregard. Indigenous resistance is frequently met with militarized security forces, echoing authoritarian control and suppression reminiscent of Anunnaki's Igigi wars. Examples include brutal crackdowns in the Amazon, native land borders being invaded, and violent enforcement of unjust extraction projects. Extractive industries often sidestep legal processes, exploit corruption, and suppress opposition. This mirrors the myth's portrayal of gods acting above norms, manipulating humanity to serve their agenda, evidence of powerful elites shaping policy and culture for resource control, while indigenous voices are systematically marginalized. In Sumerian myth, the Igigi protected themselves from forced labor, sparking rebellion. Today's counterparts, indigenous movements resisting pipelines, logging, fracking, are modern incarnations of that struggle. The continuous and often violent struggle highlights a persistent pattern: powerful entities exploiting labor and resources, while subjugated communities resist for dignity and survival. While Sitchin's Anunnaki narrative lacks archaeological support and is widely considered pseudoscience, its allegorical power is notable, mining for profit over ethical and environmental concerns, creation of a servile workforce, erasure of cultures, violent suppression of instruction or rebellion. These motifs distressingly echo in modern capitalist and political systems where economic growth is prioritized over environmental conservation and indigenous rights. Decolonize resource governance. Treat land and resources as held by rights-bearing communities, not by states or corporations. Enforce legal protections to ensure free, prior, and informed consent for projects on indigenous land. Shift power dynamics. Current resource extraction mirrors a god complex in leadership: unaccountable, extractive, destructive. Real structural change requires diminishing corporate influence, increasing transparency, and justice-driven, not profit-driven, systems. Reframe resistance as Igigi empowerment. Indigenous activists, ecologists, and affected communities are leading a modern rebellion, mirroring the Igigi's noble refusal to serve destructive regimes. Supporting these movements represents solidarity with survival, dignity, and planetary stewardship. The Anunnaki myth serves as a cosmic metaphor for patterns of exploitation, resource-hungry elites, coerced labor, suppressed uprisings, followed by a fierce human or Igigi rebellion. Today's leaders and corporations can be seen as the Anunnaki of Earth, continuing the same cycles of extraction and oppression, but the Igigi spirit lives on in Indigenous resistance. It stands as a reminder that justice, sovereignty, and ecological care remain powerful antidotes to exploitation today.